Hey, what's up, 10th graders? Hey, this is Mr. Kais coming to you from Tuesday, March 24th. This is regarding everything from March 24th to April 1st. Okay, March 24th through next Wednesday, that's April 1st. This week, we're going to be reading a short story called The Golden Touch, and we're going to be talking about plot structure. We're going to be talking about how authors organize their stories and the specific elements of that. Many of you are going to be very familiar with this already. You understand, you've heard the terms exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. So this might be a review for many of you, but that's okay. We're going to review this and practice. So again, when you get into Language Arts 10, as you see on my screen here, go to modules and you're going to see this week's module. It's called The Golden Touch. As you can see, there's a full text of what we'll be reading. There's a discussion, there's some question, there's some analysis, and there's a test. And you'll actually see this a little different than me because you'll have a video added to this, of course, when I get done making the video. So this is what you have. You have the discussion, the questions, analysis, and the test for this week. Again, we'll be talking about plot structure as it applies to the story, The Golden Touch. The Golden Touch, many of you will be familiar with it. You've heard the term Midas and the Golden Touch. Well, you're going to be reading his story this week. So just really quickly, let's just go ahead and talk about the elements of plot really quick. Let's not start on the last slide. Let's start on the first. Plot is simply a sequence of events. Okay, it's really the organization. That's what it is. It's the organization. You have the exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. And we're going to talk about what each one of these looks like. And you'll be asked to answer questions regarding the exposition, the rising action, the climax, falling action, and resolution. And more importantly, you'll be asked to identify what part of the story takes place in the climax and the falling action and the resolution. Anytime you guys watch a movie, a TV show, you read a book, there's always this plot sequence. There's always an exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution, as you'll see. Okay. Many of you have seen the house, the plot diagram. We'll talk about this little mountain. I call it a house or a mountain, whatever. This little mountain this guy's going to ride up. Okay. First, you got the introduction, this first part. Now, the introduction is where you learn about your characters, the setting, and the conflict. Now, I know it says basic situation here, but you're going to learn about the conflict in the exposition. Okay. So, if you think about like the Gatsby, that first part, you learned about the characters. The exposition, the beginning, you always learn about where the story is taking place and the characters. Okay. And then we have the rise in action where we really start to see that conflict begin to rise. Everything gets more complicated until we finally get to the climax. And the climax is where everything reaches its highest point and we start to see some resolution. Okay. You're going to see some falling action. Everything kind of starts falling down. The action is resolved. And then we get to the end, or we get the final resolution, and we know the end of the story. Okay. So exposition, or we learn our characters, rising action where that conflict builds, climax where it peaks, we begin to come down into the resolution. Okay, so that's the overview. Characters, setting, and conflict. Rising action as conflict continues to worsen. Climax characters, the conflict basically reaches its peak, and there's some type of decision made. Result of that decision is the falling action, and then we have problem resolved, and the story ends. That's in the resolution. Okay. If you didn't catch all that, go watch the video again and slow it down. Not too much. Anyway, so here we are. We're in course modules. We have the full text right here. Now, if you want to read this, great. I am very happy for you. However, if you feel like these 11, 12, 13 pages it's going to kill you to read that, I understand that as well. I am going to show you right now how to access the audio version of this story. Okay, so pay attention. This is a very important transition. Here we go. I am moving this over into our screenshot here. This is ClassLink. You all should be very familiar with ClassLink. All you got to do is hit the home button on your Chromebook to get to ClassLink once you log in as with your school Google account. Now I'm logged in as Maddie. She's been kind enough to share with us her login information for this. Once you get to ClassLink, find the one where it says Pearson Easy Bridge. This is our textbook. Pearson is our textbook, okay? Find this one right here. It might not be in this corner. I don't know where it will be on your screen, but find Pearson Easy Bridge. Let me repeat that one more time. Pearson Easy Bridge. Click on it. It's going to ask you to log in again. I've already done it with Maddie, so I'm not doing it again, but it'll say, hey, just put your Google account in, your school Google email and password. And then it'll come up to this page, and you should see my name show up, Language Arts 2. Now, don't click on that. We want to click over here. We want to click on the learning system, Pearson Realize. Again, follow closely. Pearson Realize. Click on that. It's going to take you to this homepage here where you can access everything that's in our textbook. It's right here. My Perspectives, ELA 10. Don't do 9, do 10. ELA 10. Okay, this is everything in your textbook. Click there, and we will click on the student edition. I do realize this is a lot of steps, folks, but please follow along closely. Click on the student edition. Sure, we'll open it in a new window, and here's your textbook. Now, the Golden Touch is in Unit 4. But how do we get to Unit 4? Very carefully. Watch. Over here, there's a menu button. Click on Menu. Click on Table of Contents. It's going to open up all the units. Okay? I don't know why that's open there. Anyway, we want to go down to Unit 4. All that glitters. Okay? We want to go down to, I think we're in small group learning. We are. And in small group learning, under Unit 4 is the Golden Touch. Click it, and boom. And what you have here is the entire text. But look what it'll do for you.
The Golden Touch by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Short story. Background. The Golden...
Now it'll read it for you. I think if you go down here, I'm not sure if it'll take you to exactly where you want to go. Let's see.
Touch is one of six the length, as people always grow more and more foolish unless they take care to grow what or whatever the cause might.
Anyway, you can have it read to you, the entire audio version, as you follow along. Okay, so that's how you get to our textbook online. You all have access to that. You might have to rewind this video and watch those steps again because it is quite a process, but please utilize that. Utilize that if you can. Okay, so after you read the Golden Touch and you analyze the plot structure in the Golden Touch, we will have the discussion. The discussion is simple this week. It says, after reading paragraph 5, answer the following questions. 1, how does the narrator describe King Midas, his idea of happiness, which we can all infer is going to be gold. And I want you to cite evidence to support your answer. Now, when citing the evidence, use the name Hawthorne. This is a story written by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Use the Hawthorne as in the in-text citation. Okay, number 2, based on paragraph 5, what conclusion can you draw about his idea of happiness? Okay, what inference or what conclusion can you draw? Like, is it positive? Is it negative? What conclusion can you draw? We got to jump to conclusions here. And then I want you to cite evidence to support your answer. That is the discussion. You don't have to comment on anybody else's. You just have to post to the discussion tab. Now, then when you get to the next section is the questions. Okay. If you look at that, the cues next, and really, really simple comprehension questions. But I want you to cite evidence to support your answers. Okay, like number 1, what effect does the Golden Touch have on King Midas? Obviously, everything he touches turns to gold. Cite evidence to support that answer. Okay, then we have the analysis. Now, the analysis is going to talk specifically more about the plot structure, which we just talked about: exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, following action and resolution. Part 1 says, answer these questions regarding the plot structure in The Golden Touch. For an example, would the stranger making a deal with Midas be considered incident or the resolution of the story? Okay. Does it fall under rising action? Okay. Or does it fall into the resolution? Then explain your answer. Okay. Number 2 says, what part of the narrative structure occurs when Midas turns the roses into gold? What part of the narrative structure or the plot structure when his beloved daughter turns into real gold? And then, in your own words, what is the resolution of the story? Then on the second page, it asks you to read a excerpt from Charles Dickens' David Copperfield and explain the plot structure in that short excerpt. Okay, so that's the analysis. And then the exam is 15 questions about the Golden Touch, really simple, no ACT questions, and you get 3 attempts at it. So you have plenty of opportunity to find success. And that exam isn't due till April 3rd. Everything else is due on April 1st, a week from tomorrow. Anyway, that is the video for this week. If you have any questions, go ahead and get a hold of me. Please get everything turned in. Take a moment, work through this module, and really focus on understanding and identifying different parts of the narrative structure or the plot structure. Anyway, that's that in a bag of worms. Give me a call or an email if you have any questions, and let me know what I can do to assist you in working through this.